Because when we are doing this self-loathing, what is happening is we are giving our power away, and what we want to do is call back that power. All of the beliefs that you have about yourself, they are a lie. Our past experiences helped create the beliefs, but we made the beliefs true for us, and they're not true. They're not true at all. You came from the infinite source of love and abundance. You cannot be anything less than deserving, loving, and worthy. It's your birthright. You came in that way. Hey everybody, welcome to this video. I am Iris Siriani. I am a self-love coach and a spiritual mentor. And this video is specifically for those people who feel like they don't deserve to be happy, that they don't deserve to have all of the wonderful things that they desire in their life. And if you feel like you are one of those people who are undeserving, there is a lot of unworthiness, unlovability, unacceptance from within yourself. And in fact, it's the opposite of self-love. It's more like self-loathing. And with this form of self-loathing comes a lot of buried guilt and shame for perhaps things that were done in the past, things that you did in your past. There's a feeling of guilt for choosing yourself, wanting to have your goals and your dreams and aspirations. There's a complete unworthiness feeling that lays beneath there. So in this video, I want to offer you some things to consider and then something that you can do to help transform your thoughts and beliefs. So the first thing that I want to offer you is that you are always doing the very best you can under any given circumstance, under any form of stress and strain and feelings of being unsafe and being unloved, or trying to find your place in the world, figuring out who you are, figuring out where you belong, figuring out where you fit in. I think that many people go through this challenge of not knowing where they belong, not knowing where they fit in. So number one is that you are not alone in that journey, and many people are right there with you. Because sometimes when we feel this way, when we have such self-loathing going on, we feel very alone and very isolated in the world. But you are not alone in that. So as we are trying to do the very best we can with our given circumstances and the beliefs that we have inside of us about who we are, we may act out of accordance with who we truly are. And a lot of times we find ourselves in unhealthy situations, unhealthy relationships. We might get into addictive habits in order to numb the pain that we're carrying deep within us. But again, it's you are doing the best you can with where you're at. So I would like you to acknowledge to yourself that you are doing the very best you can. The other thing about this is that we come into this life experience as pure love. We come from the infinite source of love. You can call that the infinite source of love, you can call that spirit, you can call that divine, you can call it the universe, you can call it God, you can call it whatever you want. It's all the same thing. It is the central source of all love and abundance. You are a direct descendant of that love and abundance. But life has a way of forming and molding us. And sometimes we are inflicted by our caregiver's own internal struggles, own internal unhealed pain. So this is not a fault thing. It's unhealed pain within people that are impacting and influencing our lives. It starts when we're young and it keeps on growing if it's left unhealed. We create beliefs about who we are, and then we go out into the world and we have life experiences that are going to match the beliefs that we have about ourselves. And that's why oftentimes we'll find ourselves in very unhealthy relationships, because who is our greatest teacher but the relationships that we have? But sometimes we have to cycle through some really unhealthy relationships, and if it isn't one person, it's going to be another person, until we stop and we start to look at ourselves as being the center point of everything that is being brought into our experiences, because we are just, it's a mirror of how we feel about ourselves on the inside. So you can call this a journey of raising your vibration, which involves self-awareness and discovering what those false beliefs are that you have about yourself. And I do want to offer you that any negative beliefs that you have about your lovability, your worthiness, your deservedness in any capacity, it's completely untrue, and it's something that you have made true about yourself. And so we need to work on reversing that. And how do you reverse that? Well, number one is forgive yourself. And I know that that is easier said than done, because life happens and sometimes some ugly things happen. And sometimes they're not so ugly, but sometimes we feel really disappointed in ourselves. And we feel that that is uncharacteristic of us, and it is, because your heart and your soul is very pure at its origin. But again, it's the influence from the external and the beliefs that we have created and the emotion that those beliefs create, and then the thoughts that are manifested from those emotions, and then the actions we take that support those emotions and the thoughts. And so you can see how the cycle repeats itself. So step number one is working on self-forgiveness and reminding yourself that you are always doing the best you can with where you're at in your life, what your level of awareness is, and how willing you are to move past your current circumstance. I want you to also remember that your current circumstance is just your current circumstance, and it is a reflection of all of the beliefs that you have and all of the thoughts that you've been thinking and all of the emotions that your beliefs are invoking. Up until now, up until this current present state, everything is a reflection of all of that in the past. And the past could be like even 1 second ago. But sometimes we need to then make the decision that, okay, that was up until now. Up until now, that's the way it was. And moving forward, I'm going to retrain my thoughts to be more loving and kind towards myself. So how do you do this when you are in that place? Well, I am a strong believer of positive affirmations and meditation. And some people find it really hard to meditate, and that's okay. Meditation doesn't need to be you sitting cross-legged, om chanting. Meditation can be going out for a walk without a phone, without listening to anything, but just being by yourself. Taking in your environment, noticing the trees, noticing the water, noticing the flower, noticing the sand that you might be walking on. Not everybody lives in a forest, but just grounding yourself in your environment and noticing all of the abundance in the environment. And what I mean by the abundance in our environment is the abundance of nature and how healing nature truly is. There's something really profound in going outside and being in the environment where there are no distractions. You don't have earbuds in, you're not listening to anything, you're not texting anybody, you're not scrolling social media. You're connecting with yourself and you're connecting with the abundance of life that is all around you. That in and of itself is a really, really powerful meditative walk because it helps draw out negative energy from your body. It helps ground you and connects you with the earth. And that is so important. It's something that we're not taught, but is so very helpful when you start to go on this spiritual journey, which is very much about the awareness of who you are and how you are navigating and interacting in your world. So that's one part of it. The other part of it is learning to love yourself, and that isn't always so easy. It's very easy to say, okay, I want you to repeat to yourself over and over and over again, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. That can be very challenging when you have no belief at all that you love yourself. In fact, you feel the complete opposite, as we talked about. So what I have found to be very helpful for me when I first started this was I am learning to love myself. It lands a little bit softer in your being and it's a little bit more believable. And it doesn't take very long when you start affirming these things to yourself. I am learning to love myself. I'm learning to respect myself. I am learning that I am deserving of good things to come into my life. I am deserving of healthy relationships. I deserve to be happy. So what I've done is I have created I'm learning to love myself affirmation with some really lovely music to kind of put you into that vibe. I'll leave a link to that. It'll appear up here shortly, and I'll also leave a link in the description box below. Affirmations, when you feel into the affirmations, are really helpful. At least they have been for me, in retraining my thought patterns and eventually looking at the old beliefs about who I was and what I was deserving and worthy of, and helping me pull back my energy and pull back my own inner power, to be powerful within myself. Because when we are doing this self-loathing, what is happening is we are giving our power away, and what we want to do is call back that power. All of the beliefs that you have about yourself, they are a lie. Our past experiences helped create the beliefs, but we made the beliefs true for us, and they're not true. They're not true at all. You came from the infinite source of love and abundance. You cannot be anything less than deserving, loving, and worthy. It's your birthright. You came in that way. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and we will see you on the next video. So take good care.